As BYU enjoys its bye week, it's also time to look back at the first third of the season. It's kind of crazy to think that we're already
and sad. Crazy and sad.
Yeah, the Cougars 4-1 with the only loss coming at Kansas. Overall, though, it was a heck of a September for BYU as it plays this historic season in the Big 12. So why don't we settle in on some September superlatives? And Dave, we're going to start with the best win so far in September. Where do you go with BYU football's best win?
This is going to be a great exercise. Folks at home, you can play along with us because everyone's got an opinion. Starting with the best win, I know what you think I'm going to say, but I'm going to go Cincinnati because it was a Big 12 game at home, biggest crowd since 2009. They had to overcome a lot to get to the end of the first half and into the second half where things came alive. Keaton Slovis played great when he needed to, and BYU beat Cincinnati. Gets them to 4-1, which I think opens the door for the possibilities of 6-1, 7-1, maybe higher.
Yep.
Who knows? We'll discuss that with Bronson coming up in just a bit. But I'm going Cincinnati because of the magnitude of a Big 12 win, the first in school history.
So I have my answer, which is different from yours, but I thought about going with Cincinnati for the reasons that you mentioned, because of the significance of what that game represented to have it in Provo. But ultimately, I decided to go with the win at Arkansas. And there were a couple of different reasons why. Number one, it was a road game against an SEC team. It doesn't matter which team it is in the Southeast Conference. If you're beating an SEC team on the road, that's a big deal. Then you throw in the degree of difficulty it took to win the game, where you're immediately down in the first 4 minutes by 2 touchdowns, and then to come back and win. To me, that was the best win of September for BYU football.
I like that, and it was a huge win, especially considering what Arkansas did to BYU the year before here in Provo, and they just expected to do it again. They were down their stud runner, but it doesn't matter. They don't have bad recruiting classes at Arkansas. They were favored to win the game. I think it was 10 points going in, and hostile environment for sure. BYU had a huge following that got seats and got in there, and you're right, after the first 2 plays or 2 touchdowns, we thought, is this the team?
Right.
Because they looked great against Sam Houston and Southern Utah. And then all of a sudden, a couple of possessions later, we're like, well, maybe this is the team.
Yeah.
And that was the team that went on and won the game.
Well, and the other part about it is, and it kind of goes back to, it doesn't matter which team in the SEC you beat, that gets people's attention. And even if you're just looking at box scores, if you're going over a scoreboard, oh, BYU beat Arkansas, like that stands out.
Yeah.
And trust me, I know in talking with Coach Lance Leipold the week after getting ready for the Kansas game, he took notice of what BYU did at Arkansas. I promise he knew about it.
I was cheering for Arkansas. They almost beat LSU in Death Valley the following week, and I thought, oh, just, make us look even better.
Yeah.
They went toe-to-toe with them. So 20 quarters of football we've seen. We've seen a lot of plays. Which is the best play?
Look, I will be surprised if this is not unanimous by just about everybody.
Right.
It's got to be the Chase Roberts one-handed catch at Arkansas. Can it be anything other than that play?
It happens to be our only play that's number 1 on ESPN's top 10 plays of the day.
For those that are watching on BYUtv, we're getting another look at it, and let's be honest, you can't have too many looks at just how awesome that play was. And Keaton steps up. He knows he's going to get hit. He puts it in the perfect spot, and Chase somehow gets his hand on it with one hand and then still able to get the foot in bounds. I just don't know how you can go with any other play other than that.
No, I agree with you. And the more and more you watch it, the more spectacular it gets. Interesting about this play, because I asked Chase this last Tuesday, hey, of your big catches, there was this one, there was the one against Cincinnati, and there was the Baylor one last year before halftime. Which is your favorite? Without hesitation, he said, the Baylor one. It was his first touchdown.
Yeah,
it was a phenomenal grab. I thought for sure he was going to agree with us and just go right to Arkansas.
Yeah.
But that was the big one to him. For the season, I agree. That's the best play. We've seen some really good plays.
Yeah.
And so we have some honorable mentions. That 59-yarder against Cincinnati was a big play. It wasn't a one-hander, but it was still somewhat improbable because, as you see, Keaton looks like he's throwing for Keanu Hill.
It doesn't matter that it wasn't intended for him.
Roberts is going 59 yards, turns on the speed, outruns everybody, so he shows a whole lot of his Puka Nacua abilities. I think he is the next Puka coming out of here in a couple of years. But so that's an honorable mention play.
Oh, there's no question.
That was huge. A game changer.
And my favorite part of that play is what you mentioned at the end, him pulling away from the defenders.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, some of the others, Parker Kingston to Deion Smith, the throwback.
No one saw that coming, including
the Arkansas defense. Jacob Robinson's interception versus Sam Houston. Here's that throwback.
Former quarterback at Roy High School.
Deion Smith wide open on the left side of the field. And then Jacob Robinson's interception versus Sam Houston. And then L.J. Martin, 45-yard TD run versus Arkansas. Look at him. That last leap gets him across the goal line. All right, so those are some honorable mentions. Now how about, we've had the best play, the best game. What about the best moment? I'm kind of curious as to how you view moment.
Well, how we view moments is how I feel in the moment.
Okay.
That's how I view the moment.
Okay.
There was a moment in between the third and fourth quarters of the game against Cincinnati when the fire dancers are out. Cincinnati didn't want to take their team off the field. They wanted to meet out, near the yard marker, which is a little further out than everyone else. And so they wouldn't budge for the fire dancers. The fire dancers do their show, and then they all come back and they walk past the Cincinnati group and talk trash with them on their way out. And I sat there, I thought that was, I don't know, there's some juvenile stuff still in me, but I thought, that's cool. We got the fire dancers are over there talking trash to the Bearcats, and then they walked off the field, doused their flames, and the game went on.
By the way, would you ever do that?
No.
Even if they would help you, to train you to do it, would you be willing to do that?
There's two things I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do that, and then I also wouldn't talk trash to a guy who does that.
Yeah, yes.
Who's in front of me
with
a fire stick. I don't know how, because I have a helmet, I'm like, I'm gonna give this guy some business.
Yeah.
And they just stood there and took it. And even though I think we had some young fire dancers out there, and I think they even shared some of their feelings toward the Bearcats. And I saw some of the Bearcats complaining to the ref, and you're going, okay, mission accomplished. All right, what's your best one?
Yeah, for me, this one was, I went this way, even though it was a loss. And I'm a bit surprised that I'm going with a loss, but for historical reasons and for personal reasons, it was when BYU took the field at Kansas for the first Big 12 game. I made sure that I was at that game.
Right.
I was not going to miss that game, so I was in the stands, or it's not in the stands, in the booth, excuse me. And so there was that moment of just seeing BYU in that environment against a team from the Big 12. It just meant a lot to me. Having been born and grown up for the first 13 years of my life, not too far from that area. And so the personal side of that made it big for me. But then just realizing the significance of what BYU was now embarking on, taking the field in Lawrence, that's the moment for me in September.
I like that because, as you know, I like flyovers.
Yes.
There was one, and they turned around, and they came back. Again. 2 flyovers are always better than 1, and so they did 2. When you don't have mountains, you can just do a U-turn, I think, and just come right back.
Yeah.
So they had 2 flyovers for that one. It was significant.
Have you ever been involved in a flyover? Like, have you ever done it?
In a jet?
Like in a jet. Have you ever done that?
No. But I should.
Like the Blue Angels?
I'd throw up. But I would
nobody needs that. Nobody needs that.
Darius Lassiter gets honorable mention with that touchdown against Kansas.
Yeah.
In front of his mom and against his brother.
Yeah, that was a cool moment for the Lassiter family, I'm sure.
Okay, so September, went 5 games in September as the schedule played out. The offensive player of the month for BYU, who is it?
I went with Chase Roberts, and it goes to a lot of what we were discussing earlier in terms of him stepping up and into that Puka Nacua role that we saw last year. And going into the year, we were wondering, does BYU have a number 1 guy? Is it going to be a wide receiver by committee? And to a certain degree, it still is and probably will continue to be that way. But I think Chase Roberts has established himself as the number 1 receiver, and plays like this and the one-handed catch that we saw, to me, he was the offensive player of the month.
He's won 3 Y factors on game day as the player of the game. And that's right up there with what Puka did. That's how impactful Chase has been in the first month of the season. I'm going to go with the guy who threw him the football. Keaton Slovis, considering all that he is taking on, coming in new, his last year of eligibility, first year with Aaron Roderick's offense, Keanu Hill slowed by injury, no Cody Epps, so he's had new guys with Lassiter and Marion he's had to break in. He's had Rex, which has been good. Chase, as you mentioned a moment ago, he's run for his first career touchdowns in his life. I like his leadership. He's the reason we're 4-3. He's the reason Chase Roberts is your offensive player of the month.
Right.
And so I'm going with Keaton Slovis.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ball. Who's your defensive player of the month in September?
Easy for me, Tyler Batty. He's been a big part of that defensive line, which is playing so much better than it did last year in getting to the quarterback and putting pressure on the quarterback. 26 tackles for Batty, 3.5 sacks, 3 quarterback hurries. He's forced the fumble. He's recovered a fumble. He even won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week during September. The pride of Payson High School. I love how Tyler Batty's playing football.
Yeah, I went with Jacob Robinson. The 3 interceptions, obviously one taken back for the touchdown. I think his defense, especially earlier in the month, really set the tone for what that defense was going to look like. And he's had opportunities for even more interceptions, and I know he's going to, he kicks himself from some of the ones that maybe didn't go his way. But for me, it's Jacob Robinson.
I think he's spectacular. Brian Logan always says that when it's said and done, that this guy right here will be the best corner to ever come out of BYU. Still got plenty of time left.
And you got to love because he's an Orem Tiger guy.
Of course, he's an Orem Tiger. And I sat down with him for an interview on game day a few weeks ago, and he's just a humble guy. But he's good, and he's always been undersized. Yeah. But even his head coach says he plays bigger than he is. And with him at one corner and Eddie Heckard at the other, BYU's in good shape. Well, and it's been evident.
And he gets personal shout-outs from close friend Marie Osmond.
Yeah.
Close friend to both of you, actually.
Well, we get around. Jacobs, he's going to have a big game against TCU because they like to throw it and do all that stuff. But, I think he's a viable candidate for Defensive Player of the Month. All right, the newcomer of the month. We'll finish up with this one. The newcomer. Now, think about it. 20 guys join the Cougars from the portal.
Right.
So there's plenty of newcomers. Yes. And some come in as freshmen anyway.
Yep.
Who's your newcomer?
I actually went with a true freshman, and I went with Marcus McKenzie.
Oh, yeah.
The gunner seems to be in every play on special teams. And it's not just that he's in the play. He's making big plays on special teams. The guy is an unbelievable tackler in that situation, and I can't tell you how many times, sitting in the booth and hearing Greg or Hans, there's Marcus McKenzie again. It feels like game in and game out, he makes a huge play on special teams.
Love his attitude. He loves Ryan Rico because he kicks it so high.
Gives him time to get down there.
Time to get down there and create some highlights. I'm going to go with LJ Martin. Here's a kid fresh out of high school. Last year this time he's playing in El Paso, running the ball all over the place. He comes here. He's not expected to do much because there's Hinckley Rapati, and then he gets hurt. There's Aiden Robbins, and he gets hurt. Deion Smith still working his way in from the portal. But then here comes Martin, and he runs like an upperclassman. He's not afraid. This is a great run right here into the end zone. And I think this is the beginning of something great for all these guys we mentioned, especially these newcomers. But LJ Martin, I'm eager to see what he can do. Back in Texas against TCU a week from Saturday. But he's my newcomer.
Okay. Our question of the day is this. What is your favorite moment from the BYU football season so far? We will start with Antonio on Facebook. Antonio says, BYU's touchdown drive against Cincinnati before the half. I know it's not technically one moment, but it basically took a couple of bats to the eye, and they were in the end zone. The offense had not been able to move at all. And then 3 plays, I believe it was 82 yards.
And it was like 38 seconds.
And it was 37 seconds.
37.
It was, I tweeted out, I love the 40-second offense.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Better than the 2 minutes.
I'll take that one.
BYU for Trey on X. The Chase Roberts catch versus Arkansas is all-time good. I can't think of anything better than that.
Hey, look, it's the reason why it was our play of the month. And then Isaac Harlan on Facebook says, Jacob Robinson with his phenomenal interception in the end zone, which saved a shutout game.
Yeah.
And that is important to the defense, putting up the 0. There's no question about it. Continue to weigh in using hashtag BYUSN on X, Facebook, and Instagram.